What is up, everybody? How you doing, buddy? Let's just fucking offend somebody right from the jump. You know what I'm saying? What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Murph at 420, Fridays, 4:20 p.m. Eastern. Dirty Kenzo Productions, bringing critical thinking and common fucking sense back to you two. Salute to everybody. Today's podcast, we are going to have a conversation with Queen Kels and my son, Junior, Tom, also known as CHEESECURLPAPI. You see his link at the top of the live there. I will try to get it dropped again. One of my great mods could get that for me, please, and thank you. This is a weekly podcast for your drive home. Salute to everybody, as we always do in the beginning of a show. I like to greet everybody. This is a party. This is my home. I would greet everyone walking in my home just as such. But before that, we'll just give a quick hello to today's guest, June Boy. What is up, my son?
Not much. Mostly just really need a haircut, but I'm fine.
Yeah, we're woofing. We're woofing gang over here. But guys, as we always do at this time, I will say hello to the chat. So first comment I got again is mine there. That is the guest, CHEESECURLPAPI Jr. That is his link. He's a gamer, but he also speaks on I'd say like entertainment-ish, entertainment. Once in a while you'll get a social issue, but it's very rare. He likes to keep it, on the more lighthearted side. But definitely if let's say celebrity passes that was close to pop culture, things of that nature. So definitely worth subbing up. About to be 19, so he's not a little kid. But yeah, hoping to have a great conversation today. Number one on the like and number one in all of our hearts, the love of my life, Queen Kels. Salute, baby doll. Baby doll. Baby girl. Kel's dropping our hashtags as we always like to drop them in the beginning. It also helps me remember a lot of shit. She don't know how much she's needed. We appreciate you. But of course, day ones, that's everybody in the community. You're a day one on day one. If you rock out with the family, you don't have to be here from the first day. She calls me the illest beat and song creator because she's a doll. I do make royalty, copyright free music for YouTubers, for your intro songs, background music, things of that nature. Lease and sale options are available under the email address rolling across the bottom of your screen. She is the queen she-wolf. We call ourselves the wolves around here. Obviously, the women would be the she-wolves, and she is the queen. CWK is Cooking with Kels. Cooking with Kels is every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on YouTube. Season 3 we're on, Cooking with Kenzo, Kels and myself, making food. Salute to everybody who tuned in last night. We made a butter cake that came out amazing. Looked beautiful, tasted great. Couldn't ask for no more. We do give an NSFW warning, not safe for work. This is more of a drive home kind of show. If you're still in the office, you may want to pop the headphones in. We curse, we smoke, we talk a whole lot of shit. And with that, of course, as always, we also give a parental advisory warning. If you have a child on a tablet or phone and you hear my voice, that badass little kid where he don't belong, go on, get. Go on. It's grown folk business. A big salute to our work warriors, whether you're beginning, in the middle of, or ending your shift. We do appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe for me. This is brought to you by Dirty Kenzo Productions, DKP. CWK, again, is Cooking with Kels. You can now become a member on Patreon, guys. The link is here. 3 different tiers. $4.20 for your casual smoker, $10 for your everyday smoker, and the $30 is the plug, where you would have basically any show you wanted to be on, you would have free rights. Even with the $4.20 tier, though, the lowest, there's a lot available, exclusive content, things of that nature. So definitely check it out if you want to support the brand. We will have YouTube membership coming soon. Trying to get monetized now. We need a lot of watch hours, guys. My videos are short. My songs are 4 or 5 minutes tops. So, we need a lot. So I have a couple playlists, my videos and songs I made. If you watch them, play them on a loop in the background. Someone's drooling at the mouth. They don't really talk much. You can just put it on for them. Maybe they can try to tap their foot. Dirty Kenzo Productions forever. If you want to contribute financially to your host with the most roast the most host, some shit like that. Cashapp, Zelle, PayPal, all that good jazz. But your likes, your subs, your shares, your word of mouth is worth its weight on gold, in gold, whatever. Just whatever. It's fucking currency on YouTube. Oh, come on. Jen, my little sis, appreciate you checking in as always. I see the day ones popping up. Vic LFM, my brother. Nat, my first supporter on Patreon. Nat gets the number one spot. We appreciate you, Nat. Thank you for that as well. Yep. Got my queen dropping it. Oh, she dropped the Bonehead History and the Cheese Curl Poppy. That's a queen mob business right there. She handled that business. See, I said, and last but not least, my beautiful love of my life. Love you, baby cakes. Smooches. Smooches. Linda dropped a like. I'll be listening my drive home from work. Appreciate you, Linda. That's what I said it on the first episode back. If you're new here, this is only our third episode back. We did take about an 8-month hiatus. About, let's just say 6 to keep it fair. And I always loved the 420 slot for that reason, because it's like I didn't start YouTube till after we left Philly. I'm like, but if I had something like Philly like 420 before I left Philly, I would have been listening to it every day. I'd have been on the panels and the chats, all that while I was stuck on 95. Linda, we appreciate you as always, though. Day one for real. Evie in the building, we appreciate you. Check out the Ignant. IGNANT Ignant Misfits report, guys. Great channel. Eve has she's well spoken, great points, everything you want out of a content creator. Way better than my stuttering ass, right? Kathy Stevens, great to see you. And yes, a happy Friday to everybody for sure. My brother Barn in the building. Make sure you guys are subbing to sponsor of the page, ATG TV, ATG Barn. Merch, same style platform. We also do a Saturday night podcast. Barn, I did have a name I wanted to run by you and the chat. In Search of Name podcast. The In Search of Name podcast. Yeah, I think I might be taken already though. To be determined's already taken, I think.
I know there's a movie company.
Oh, we just had a big jump in the chat. Bear with us if you're in the chat. We don't like missing anybody. Here is a playlist of the songs. And like I said, guys, I also have a playlist of the skits and things of that nature I've made. I'm live, but I'm bringing everyone over. Hold on. Dio True, we appreciate you. Make sure you guys are subbing up to True. Catch his lives, does sports on the like Game 7, things of that nature. So definitely check them out. Kimbers, I appreciate you. I see you commenting all day. You've been in that playlist. I appreciate you. My mama, my dudes in the building.
Thank you.
I'm way behind. I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, I'm way behind. I say hi to everybody. You gonna say hi to your grandmother?
What up, Granny?
It ain't Granny. It's my mom. It's hard when you get your age, because you're like, hi mama. It's like saying mommy, Harry, my guy, salute. KingCustoms.com. My man is killing the merch game. You definitely got to check it out. I know I messed that name up, but I got the hard part. Correct me the rest of it. Pammy, my sis, great to see you as always. Maureen, Rambo in the room, we see you. Appreciate you. Speeding right along here, guys. Yeah, we'll work that out, babe. That is a good idea. She said, we got to do an interview. Everyone wants to meet the woman that birthed a fucking legend. She didn't say that. I did. I said the fucking part. Hey, boy, swinging. He peeking out the tree. I see you over there. Hey, boy's like, I'm building a tree house. Give me a few minutes. When people put the tree, we're like, are you building a tree house? It just means you're in the bushes. Pilato to Bama. Appreciate you, my brother, as always. Just trying to, well, we had a jump there, guys, so bear with me. I don't want to miss anybody. You like that name, Harry? CHEESECURLPAPI? Kid's a beast. Barn said, "We want Poppy."
Earlier, someone was saying, I forget exactly what they were saying. Something about Poppy. And I was just, don't be mad you didn't come up with it, bro. Like,
As soon as he told me the name, I was like, legend. Love it. Love it. Yeah, that's a fact, Barn. That's a fact. But yeah, guys, Thursday's night. Oh, Harry. Okay, I didn't know about the site being down. My bad, bro. They're trying to give them shout outs. You know what I mean? But where was I? I forgot my damn point because I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner. Yeah, guys, Thursday nights cooking with Cal 7 Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern. Fridays 4:20 Eastern on Dirty Kenzo. Saturday nights ain't really a set time. Could be 9, could be 11. You never know with Barn. That man got kids all around. You never know when you can hit that live button. I get it. So check us out. Make sure you have the bell set to all so you don't miss anything. Kenny Cut. We're flying right through these. What ups, everybody? I can't wrench anybody right now because the backup phone is down. So I do apologize about that. If anyone's not wrenched, I do ask the wrenches. As always, protect the chat from scumbags and also, support content creators by dropping their links, welcoming new people, things of that nature. But always keep an eye out for the low lights. Honda Mommy checking in. Appreciate you as always, Jersey. Day one from day one. Kimbers, I seen you going through the one playlist. I could tell because you were commenting on older videos. I was like, that's pretty dope. Speeding right along. I got True. So True, appreciate you, Dio. Again, I think you might have stepped out when I said it. Definitely, we give a shine and a prayer to our brother T History, who recently passed. Great friend to most of the page. Why am I not seeing Dones? Oh, there he goes, right there. Yeah, no dinner tonight. We just having a conversation tonight. Last night we made some butter cake. That shit was really good. Still eating it. But salute Dones, my bro. Babe, we call him Dones, Victor, or Yankee, really. Cheat Up Quinn is the second best YouTube channel behind Murph. I agree. Cheat Up, my bro. Make sure you guys are subbing to Quinn. Chicken Butt, my guy. Salute to you, brother. You hear all these crazy ass names, right? You're like, oh my God, these Chicken Butt, these names are fucking crazy, dude.
I've seen worse. These are these are bush.
Oh yeah, the troll names haven't came in yet. Our trolls get very specific. They'll be like Murph's teacher who died in 3rd grade, and they'll be like, "Hey everybody," like that'll be their name. Murph's teacher who died in 3rd grade. You're like, yo, I said that 4 hours into a 12-hour live.
At least it shows they're dedicated.
Shit, come on. DBM, my dirty brother, appreciate you. If I mixed anybody, please, if I missed anyone, just give another hello. OD, old Dusty Puerto Rican, my brother, salute to you. I think we're caught up, guys. If I missed anybody, just say hello again. But, guys, I think we're through that right now. We'll get that off the screen. I'd like to give a Dirty Kenzo welcome to a fellow Kenzonian, Kensingtonian, something like that. The CHEESECURLPAPI. How you doing, my man?
Fine. Mostly just a little frazzled. Not like I'm scared of doing lives. It's just don't do them very often.
Not used to it. That's fine. Just follow my lead, and I think we'll be okay. Just a conversation with me as always. I think what we'll lead off with, just to get everybody in the chat just a little more acquainted with you, understand, how you tick. Maybe a little bit about your YouTube, your brand, your name, get into the name a little bit because there's some interest there. And again, plug your history channel as well.
So I'll just start with how I got the name for
1 second. Honda, this is Junior. This is me and Kel's son. Tommy Jr., aka CHEESECURLPAPI. That is his YouTube. We're going to do a conversation with the youth, youth in quotes. He'll be 19 in like 3 months, but still younger than us. But good.
Anyway, so I guess I'll start on how I got the CHEESECURLPAPI name. So I forget how long. You can probably find it going through my videos when I first.
I'd say
changed my
5
name.
years.
Because before it was Tommy TNT, which now I have the benefit of hindsight. I like really cringe at it. But I made the channel in December.
We do curse on this show.
I curse normal.
I'm just letting
But
Jen, salute,
I made it in like December 2016. I was 13 when I made it, so a lot of my early videos, I privated all of them so they don't come back to haunt me.
And I
didn't say anything offensive. It's just I can't handle 13-year-old me.
It's hard to hear your own voice anyway, even as an adult. Like I know your mom has issues with hearing her own voice, you know. And I know when I used to rap and sing, it would really, I'm like, yo, that was fire. I'm like, sounds like I'm standing in the frickin' shower still. But I did even buy him a mug that's like a block of dynamite from Minecraft, which is a nice segue into your name, if I'm not mistaken.
So actually, no, Tommy TNT.
No, I meant Poppy.
Oh, well,
go ahead, keep going.
So Tommy TNT is actually both of them come from a game. So Tommy TNT was first Tommy because that's my name, real name. And TNT because in the old WWE games, I'd make my nickname Dynamite in the games. And since TNT is a nickname for Dynamite, Tommy TNT. And since I figured that rolled off the tongue well. And if you look it up, I don't know if their channel still is around. I haven't looked in a while. But when I had my channel, a few months later, I don't think it's correlated or anything, like these two like Russian brothers were TNT Tommy. It was my same profile picture, but like the hue was up. And I would watch their videos. It was like a fucking Russian vlog, but it would turn into like a Slender Man video.
Oh, right. So they were going creepypasta.
Not even, no, the weirdest thing was, you can tell if somebody's intending to try, but no, since they're Russians, I assume they like can't tell, like they're a little off on that.
On the irony and
they would be filming like their backyard or some shit. I assume it's their house. I hope it is. And then like they would leave it on would keep filming like the fucking grass. And it would be really fucking creepy for like 5 minutes. I've
seen Russian, they say they're bots, but they imitate a page and they will redo the content. So the thumbnails are identical. And okay, so moving forward, how did you get the name CHEESECURLPAPI?
So
Bug, salute, brother. Good to see you. Subscribe to the Bug Man, Bug Bouncer. Go on.
All right, so it's kind of a little funny. So I was playing. I don't want to say if you're a parent or if you have any relative who's younger, you probably heard of Roblox by now. I was playing it with my sister. You should probably find her somewhere. I'm not going to name her channel. I'm not going to name her channel for reasons. But I was playing Roblox with her, and I made my character. And so you can pretty much make him look like how you want, basically. He was orange, and I said he looks kind of like a cheese curl, so I named him Cheese Curl, and I figured I had to add something to it, and I just thought of the word Poppy because I thought it'd sound funny. So CHEESECURLPAPI, and I thought, hey, this would be a pretty good name for my channel. I was thinking about rebranding anyway.
Once he told me about it, I was like, that's dope. As soon as I heard it, I was like, that name is dope as shit. So yeah, that's a cool story behind it. But you know, we'll kind of ease into it a little bit. I do want to talk a little bit today about, you know, the world, the events, you know, current events, if you will, as the world turns, as they say. But we'll just keep it, you know, bouncing and light for now. But so how would you describe your content?
Well, first I have two that I really care about.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll go through one at a time.
Well, mostly I think of it as like what CHEESECURLPAPI and the other one, Bonehead History.
History.
A few have dropped it in the chat so far. I think
your mom was dropping.
Yeah, I think her and somebody
just
else.
Just say my mom.
My mom. But
everyone knows she's your mom.
I got like a train of thought. I'm trying to lose it. So the way it's like the two E's. Kind of, it's like entertainment and education, the two best things you can have.
That's what the two channels.
That's kind of what I try to do for both, although they both kind of lean one way. Because with history, it's not as easy to be funny with history because it's kind of just like, hey, fun fact: Joseph Stalin killed a couple millions of people.
Yeah. Knee slapper, right, gang?
Like
knee slapper, gang. That's so true.
Basically, how it is.
Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button for us. This is a live interview. I am the Dirty Kenzo. Murph. Today's interview is with Queen Kells from Cooking with Kells and my son Tom Jr., aka CHEESECURLPAPI. Right now we're just getting a little bit of the history of his page. You know, where my next question would be, where would you like to see your page go? Like, you know,
to the front page,
to like the pinnacle, you know what I'm saying?
To the front
like,
page.
You want to be all the way on the top.
Reach the mountaintop. See how lonely it gets at the top.
So you could just wave to all the little people.
No, because I don't know. I don't want to like. I don't want to sound like I'm taking any shot at.
No, I totally
person.
understand what you mean.
No, but what I want to do is like get to a point where like me simply saying another channel's name could elevate that person to where like they could go from 100 subscribers living in like a fucking cardboard box to now living like in the high life. I don't know. I feel like that's the best thing you can do with someone with. I know saying power on YouTube is like saying like you're the fastest guy in a wheelchair, but it's a similar idea, you know. Elevate them to a higher level so they can, you know, pass it forward, you know, circle of life type stuff.
Today's strain, I don't know. It's in improper packaging, but it's fire. It's fire. So yeah, getting back into your content. So you said CHEESECURLPAPI is more entertainment, and as I said in the intro, with gaming. So I'd like to get a little more, you know, into Bonehead history.
Yeah.
What made you want to pick a name like that? Does the name express the content?
So, I feel like a problem with me is when I come up with a name for something, I forget to like look if that name currently exists.
Mm-hmm.
So originally it was Halfwit Hit. Like the first 2 videos, I realized it really quickly before I really dove in, and it was Halfwit History. And then I was like, and I like looked it up on all things, and it like said nothing existed. I just had to look on like Twitter, and there was some like fucking podcast. You know, I was like, well, shit. So then I looked for like synonyms of halfwit, and I thought bonehead sounds a lot better because most people know what a bonehead is and don't know what a halfwit was.
That's true too.
And
a halfwit doesn't know what a halfwit is.
Ironic.
A bonehead does know what a bonehead is.
Exactly. I've been told it enough. I figured, you know, I like history enough, and you know, I could be a bonehead a lot. So
now, where would you say your love of history comes from?
Really, all over the place.
Little of me.
I mean, everything like watching people on YouTube, it's just like all kinds of stuff. I find it interesting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like learn history, you can basically predict the future damn near.
Well, that's they say, man who doesn't study the history is doomed to repeat it. That's a fact.
I mean, that's happened.
Vaughn, thank you for stopping in before work, brother. And have a great shift, and hopefully hope to holler at you tomorrow for the pod. Let me know what you thought of that name, though. In Search of Name podcast. I thought that'd be good for a holder, and then I'm like, that'd actually be a good name for the damn podcast. So, but so your bonehead history, would you say it's more like you try to be as light and comedic as possible? Like you said, you obviously can't make a joke over millions of people dying in it, you know.
Well, I wouldn't say try and be lighthearted because, you know, it's history, not like it's not like Sesame Street. I have to tell you about the ABCs. I'm just telling you what really happened and what it's about. I mean, I don't really know how I can be lighthearted with saying California has a high homeless problem. I really don't know how I can make that lighthearted.
See, but with just to be the devil's advocate, let me ask your opinion. Do you feel California is the only place with that problem, really?
Not at all. It's because I don't want to make it seem like I love California because obviously I'm from PA.
Yeah, we're East.
But, you know, because California is basically at the top on most things. Now, obviously, like mostly money, population, stuff like that. So they get look kind of like America in a nutshell. You know, we're basically at the top, so we get criticized the most because everyone's looking at us. While like a small country like Zimbabwe doesn't get noticed about their high inflation a couple years ago. Nobody said anything. Yeah, they feel like they're picking on them.
I really mean it towards like a way of, as you know, someone who you lived in Kensington for 15 years, right? You're 15, 16 when we moved?
Yeah, I was 15, yeah.
So from your lifespan to what you're seeing, you know, here on YouTube, we watch Morals Over Money and Tommy D, you know, salute everybody, Surviving Kensington Lego, you know, all the brothers that go down there. Just in your lifetime, how extreme would you say are the homeless problems that you've seen? And then maybe that you've seen online news where you've seen it nationwide?
Well, like where I've seen homelessness, it's just, I really don't want to say like one state has it worse than another because the point is there's people who don't have a place to sleep at night. It's under the alley. It's It's in an alley or under the subway, basically. So yeah, it doesn't really feel like saying, oh, California has more homeless people. The problem is there's homeless people in general. And, you know, you gotta feel bad for them because there are people just like
as you said,
you or me. So
as you said, they have the highest population, so naturally they'd have one of the highest
and the most money for a state.
They'd have one of the highest homeless populations, you know. But yeah, so as I was trying to, you know, lean you in towards though, what would you say on? I mean, you've been alive for quite a few presidents, so have you seen crazy change? Have you seen it?
Well,
getting better or worse?
Well, for crazy,
we'll stick on just homelessness.
All right.
We don't have to get. We'll work into others.
Obviously, with crazy change. Well, for the presidency, seeing changes. Well, I was born during Bush, his administration. First term, right? Yeah, he was elected in 2000. I was born
just before the end of his first.
So term. I was born during the twilight of his first term, and obviously up until about almost the end of Obama's, I was too young to really realize there was much of a difference. So I don't have frame of reference for them to.
You weren't really understanding what a president was probably till Obama's second term.
Till pretty much about I don't know when he was facing Mitt Romney in 2012. I guess that's when I could piece it together.
Mitt was
2012. Mitt Romney.
Mitt.
Don't
make me kung fu chop you. Was it though? When did Trump become president?
2017. Donald Trump became president in 20. He was inaugurated in 2017.
Wait, Biden was 20. Biden was 20. Trump was 16. Okay, you're right.
And Obama in 08, and then Bush in 4 in 2000.
Well, welcome to Joe Rogan Podcast. What do you think about the world ending in 2012?
All I really remember is it was like
there was a flash in the sky. December 21st.
It was a flash, and I couldn't remember who I was. I thought it was Grandma Gertrude down there.
Yeah. But I was looking for my walker.
All I remember from that was obviously when you're a little kid, there's always the kids in schools who are just like, the world's gonna end this Saturday. And it's like, how you figure? Listen, my uncle told me he's a reliable source. Okay, he may have passed out on the couch, but he's a reliable source.
It's funny you bring that up because it makes me think of something real quick. How did that make you feel when someone did that?
What?
Because I had the same thing happen to me, even in the same exact way. It was a girl's uncle. But I also had a few other situations. And, when I was coming up, we were really afraid of 2000.
Yeah.
Y2K, they thought the nukes weren't going to know what to do and launch themselves. Like they feared for a good reason. Yeah. 2012 was, hey, we think these prophecies mean this.
When, in 2012, everyone thought the war was going to end because the Mayan calendar.
Well, and the Hopi Indians and things like that. But the Mayans predicted a great change.
Yeah.
And that did happen. We're 8 years. We're 10 years. We're 10 years in on that, and the world has gotten a little more extreme. Like I said, we'll get down that road for sure. If you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you're hitting that like button for us. Dropping some great comments. Any question you guys have for me or the Poppy over here. We're just going to keep it flowing. At this point, this is the only podcast bringing you critical thinking and common fucking sense. Back to YouTube, the Dirty Kenzo and Murph at 420. All right, I'm just trying to put a pin where we just were. There was something. Okay, so when you would hear that from those fellow classmates, the world's ending, 2012, 2020, how did you feel maybe through different parts of your life when you heard it? Let's say the youngest you were.
Well, I would say for the 2012 one, I don't remember much about it.
You were 9.
I was in third, fourth grade at the time, so I don't really remember a whole lot. Only thing I really remember from the 2012 day was it was like 9 p.m. and we were in Philly, obviously still, and I was asking you if the world's gonna end, and you're basically just threw out this. Fuck if I know.
I doubt I said that. So
well, yeah,
pretty sure comforts you.
Paraphrasing, but it basically boils down to fuck you asking me for. I don't know. I hope not.
I think most of the people tuning in now, most of the everyday listeners kind of already know with me and your mom that it's like we've always been kind of logical with you and always kept it real. You know what I mean? Like if a kid passed away, we would the situation you remember from the apartment and all. So I just wondered because it's like the first time I had ever had that situation you're talking about happen to me. If I'm going to guess, I would say 93. I was probably about 10. 4th grade, so 8, 9, 10 area. Yeah. George Carlin. 12 years. 14, 15, 16. 18, 19. We were watching George Carlin last night. Don't mind us. But I think I was in about 3rd or 4th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade. But the one girl, and this is so funny too. I don't know why people do this. The teacher goes, "Are there any important questions?" Right? Only in school would a motherfucker say something that has nothing to do with nothing. Because if you were in your job and they were like, "We need you guys to pick up productivity, clean up your areas a little better," Everybody understand? You raised your hand. You were like, did you ever see what they made McDonald's chicken nuggets out of? It's a pink blob. They would fire you. When you're in fourth grade and the teacher goes, any pressing questions? And the girl goes, my uncle said the world's going to end in the year 2000. And I, I was a very imaginative child. So that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like petrified. I ran home and asked my parents, And then obviously that fear still existed through school to a lot of people, because on my 17th birthday, my brother Bobby was 10. He was 10 at the time. Yeah, right.
I already know.
He was 10 and it was still bad. But he got, it was 1999, and he goes, Dad, how does it feel to know this is, or Dad? There you go, guys. Shows how much attention I paid on that sentence. He goes, Tom, how does it feel to know this is your last birthday before the world ends? And I was like, what the fuck? I got like all depressed and shit. I'm like, this sucks. But he was 10. So it was really, it just showed that always existed. Like I said, the fear for 2000 was heavy. The fear for 2012 was very heavy.
Funniest part about that story is you could tell Uncle Bobby was still under the like childhood invincibility idea that kids were, because he's asked you, well, how you gonna feel about the world then? You should say, how the fuck do you feel with the world?
Yeah, right.
You'll be more affected than me. I've lived more life than you at this point.
I mean, if the world was ending right now, I've already discussed it with everybody. What we would just do is sit around in a circle with us four and just talk about the good times.
Try and go to bed.
Yeah. That is the way.
Go to sleep.
It's hard for some, but salute, Coco. Welcome in. Great to see you. I think it would be really hard to go to sleep, but that's what, you got to remember, the pain of death is what? Them leaving and you not, or you leaving and them not, vice versa. If everybody's leaving, there's no pain left behind. It's just, fear of missing out after that.
Oh, yeah, then this is how you get into philosophical paradoxes of just, if nothing can exist, then does pain even exist? Because there has to be something to be in pain for pain to exist, kind of shit.
Gee, that's a fact, bro. We're going to get into that in the 5 o'clock hour, which is in a few minutes, actually. But yeah, I agree with you on that.
So is 5 o'clock your real shit hour, basically?
No.
Over
No. So the way I kind of mold it, I do 4:20 to 6. So you got an hour and 40 minutes. So that 40 minutes is 5.
Yeah.
So to get that out, I drop the intro, say hi to everybody. So that shit could take as long as it wants. If I'm up here by myself, I kind of just bring up the likes and the Patreon and. We're just in a great combo, so we're flowing. But around 5 is when I'll start to either drop the link for people to come up and discuss things, or I really get into a point. So that's just the only difference with the 5. Excuse me. Thank you for all those links, Pam. You are killing it. Steven Rivera, salute, brother. Good to see you. Pam, I had such a good time on her panel the other night. It was 7 of us. I even said at the end, a panel of 7 people for almost 3 hours, no arguments, and only just a little bit of talking over each other. I'm like, 7 people, you're going to talk over each other. It's a fact. So if you got no arguments and major debates, you know what I mean? You had a good show. But yeah, guys, as I said, it is about to hit the 5 o'clock hour. We are here for your drive home. As we do at this time, I'm going to drop a song for your ride home while we take a brief intermission on our side. And at this magic moment, when your lips are close to mine, we'll play She Said by TDK. Salute. Fires in the chat if you're enjoying the show. And we are back. Murph at 420. The podcast bringing critical thinking and common fucking sense back to YouTube. We are at the 40-minute mark, the 5 o'clock hour. If you're on your drive home, we appreciate you. Even if you're smoking sour, smoking on a flower. Oh. Today we're up here with our guest of honor, myself and Queen Kel's son, Tom Jr., aka CHEESECURLPAPI on YouTube, Instagram. Make sure you guys give him. I see he got 6 subs already, so I appreciate everybody who did that. And as I always like to say, before we get back in the combo, please hit that like, sub, share. Word of mouth is the currency here on YouTube. But if you'd like to donate a little to the host for the tunes and the great combo, you have TheDirtyKenzo on Cashapp, Zelle, PayPal, all that good shit. Or you could just become a member on patreon.com/TheDirtyKenzo. Few weeks, hopefully, we'll have it on YouTube as well. Got to get them watch hours in. So, again, I just wanted to say before we get back into the combo, Pammy, again, thank you for all the links. Kels is probably running around, so I love how you are kind of alternating. That's beautiful. Victor Dones, I just seen your comment. And it kind of leads into what G said a few minutes ago. And it's kind of what we're going to get into here, you know, in this next at least half hour, maybe longer set. But so Victor's comment was his neighbor's house. I want to get it. I don't want to, you know, misquote. He said, speaking of fire, my neighbor's house burnt down today and the firefighter wouldn't let him go save his cat and had the audacity to tell him, I don't know where you're going, but I'm going home tonight. Which is horribly cruel. I was in a fire when Kels was pregnant with Tom, with Junior, actually. So technically he was too. He was in the womb. But I would have killed. I'd have smacked somebody. But that leads me. Nice segue. Not nice, but a segue. Reports. First off, let's report. We are coming to you today live. It is Friday, 27th, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, Friday the 27th of May. Coming to you guys a few days after a massacre in southern Texas, a mass shooting at a elementary school, claiming the lives of 21 people, including 19 students. Very hectic few days since then in the country, especially news-wise. You can imagine they're buzzing. But reports are coming out now that police didn't exactly rush in. When they tried, he shot, they kind of retreated and didn't rush right in. And, obviously receiving criticisms now, which is rough because we obviously want our police force to protect people, the public. That's what I expect the police to do, protect the public. And just personally, I'd say, I can't imagine, if you have police standing there not running into this school, 3-4 parents with guns they're not going to stop running. They're going to go for the guy because their children are there. But it's just a tough situation. So obviously we're going to tiptoe around what we say some, because we don't want to give any misinformation at all. Of course, everything here is opinion based. My opinion, or again, Tom's opinion. What should I call you on the show? Junior? All right, so I'll just call you Junior. So how do you feel about the events of Texas, and then again the reports that police were waiting for SWAT? They didn't exactly rush in, while parents were kind of begging them to. So just start with your thoughts on the Texas situation and go from there.
Well, obviously, I just want to start with
Tommy D. Salute, brother. Coco, salute.
I just want to start with, it's really fucked. I really don't know how else you can put it. I mean, if someone pretty much my age,
that's why I was so. Don't lose your train of thought just a quick second. That's why I was so interested in doing this, because you're one that you came to me just about being on the show, and then you being around, like you just said, the same age. That's perfect.
Yeah, and someone my age, obviously very different from me, but very similar.
Clearly suffering from mental illness.
Yeah, clearly fucked in the head, and he fucking butchered many children. Like some fucking fairy tale monster.
Yeah, it just aggravates.
It's it's the only real way to put it. It's obviously you're shocked, and then you just kind of get angry because anyone who sees a kid getting hurt or attacked, you want to help them. But it's kind of just well, they're on the complete other side of the fucking country, so it's nothing I can really do about it physically wise. So it's just kind of heartbreaking, to be honest. It's kind of like with the
you feel like you can't. There's no, like you just said, you feel like there's nothing you can do, especially as you're separated.
Yeah, and distance. All this stuff happening with Texas and Buffalo shit a while ago, and the other instances sprinkled throughout in between them. They're like the two pillars of trauma this year, and then there's little shit seasoning in between them for flavor.
It's so true.
And it's just it feels like trying to lower your morale. Feel like all hope is gone, but this isn't the fourth Slipknot album. All hope isn't gone.
Not everyone gets Slipknot references, but yeah, like I was saying, prayers. It's just every fucking detail is making this situation worse. Every report that comes out now has just added more and more sorrow and heartbreak on top of something. I heard the woman teacher who was murdered. We'll be honest, she was murdered. I don't believe that's misinformation. Her husband, who was seen leaving her flowers shortly after, passed away of a heart attack, which his family reported he was heartbroken. And I believe so as well. They were high school sweethearts. They've been together since they were 16. They've been together for 24 years. So I believe that. I've heard of old people dealing with that situation. You know, the husband, and it happens a lot in the elderly. A couple that's in their 70s, wife goes, husband goes, wife goes, right back to back. You know what I mean? I never had a grandpa, so I didn't have to experience, you know, I didn't experience
Yeah,
anything.
and I pray I don't.
Well,
ever, but
it comes eventually, on, you know, unfortunately.
I have what 3-4 sets of grandparents.
You have a lot.
So
You have a lot. You
so
only lost one, so
mathematically, it's very possible it will happen.
yeah.
So
It's, you know, it's unfortunate because, like I said earlier, with the world ending situation, it's like
it's inevitable.
you're here.
Really
You're here. You're still here. That's what we cry. We mourn. I'm never going to see, like, when Graham died. That's all I could think them first week. Like, this person that's been a third parent, a vital part of my life, is only in my head now.
Yeah, and obviously, most of my grandparents have good relationships with them. You know, like,
that's true too.
I mean, obviously, with some, it's a little more. You know, like
some have horrible relationships with their
what more of it? What more?
You'd like to have a better one.
With some of them, it's not trying to, but if like me and the grandparent in question, you know, not naming any, of course, in case they're listening, but even if they don't really care, but you know, it's like if we have no real common interest, then it's like, what the fuck is the point trying to establish a bond? We have nothing in common. Yeah, but it's just we're related. That's really
family.
it.
But that's family. That's the definition.
Is it really? Family. Is it really family, or are we just relatives?
But well, I guess But the definition of I guess that would be the difference, distinguishing those, finding that diamond in the rough similarity to relate.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're 100% right. There's whole generations. You have kids out here today that deal with stuff in their family because grandpa's racist, you know, 80, 25-year-old granddaughter may have an interracial child.
Yeah.
Never speak to the grandfather because you're not going to insult my husband or my child, at that matter.
Yeah.
But, you know, I do want to talk, you know, I want to salute everybody in the chat. Appreciate you. Just a reminder, this is Murph at 420. We are chatting with CHEESECURLPAPI. This is my son. This is Junior, me, and Queen Kel's pride and joy of a boy. But, yeah, we're just having some conversations today, just trying to get the opinion of, you know, someone from this generation of both these shooters. As Junior said, you know, both these guys were your age. So, you know, and let's not forget too much. Columbine, those gentlemen were 17, 18. 19.
Well, I feel like for Columbine, it's kind of laying like, well, of course they were younger than me. They were my age when they did it, but then again, that was in '94. It was 9 years before I was.
Oh yeah, they're older than me.
Wait, no, it wasn't '94. Wasn't it in '99? Something like that.
In '99, yes.
Yeah, my bad.
Relatively, yes, because they're older than me, but figuratively, they were the same. They were on the, when they died, they were the same age as you. So, I do know that, you know, today's quote kids. I'm not gonna. You're not a kid. You're a young man. Clearly, I've been calling you that for a few years. You have to understand that responsibility. You know, being a man is a responsibility. It's not this Hollywood misogynistic bullshit that's fed. I don't believe an alpha has to disrespect anybody. Yeah. So our definition of an alpha wolf, alpha male definitely differs from the, quote, stereotypical. Because to me, an alpha is just a man that both stands up for what he believes in and protects his pack.
And honestly, like what you consider to be a man, obviously coming from me, it could sound a little rich because anything I would consider to be like the criteria for I really don't qualify yet. Yeah. But to be fair, what you consider to what makes you a man is personally up to you, because you ask anyone, they all have different opinions. It could be taking care of your family, but if you have no family, what is it, taking care of yourself?
Dio Mario, salute. Ibero in the bushes, salute, guys. Appreciate both of y'all. So I'm glad you actually brought that up, because in these situations, Texas and Buffalo, people I've kind of lightly, I haven't been doing what I used to do, but I've been arguing with people online and make, dumb points.
Favorite pastime.
I love correcting dumbasses.
The true American pastime.
I love correcting dumbasses, and I like making racists make themselves look like assholes.
They do that.
Like, I don't even have to. I just take these little subtle jabs, and they kind of expose themselves. So that's my favorite pastime. But I've been light on it. I haven't been going as hard as I used to. But someone had said to me that they go, this was with Buffalo, and they go, this guy was 18. He was an adult. So towards your point you just made, I guess I do understand your point that every man or every person in general would have to make their own criteria on what makes a man. But let me ask you, as someone that same age and what you would consider that criteria.
Mhm.
This young man lived with his parents.
Mhm.
We're talking about Buffalo here still,
Yeah,
so I believe he graduated.
Mhm.
I believe the kid in Buffalo graduated. So you're close to graduating. You're same age. You live with your parents still. So what would you think would quote make him a man other than you've turned 18? What did you get out of it? Voting and the military.
A bunch of shit that doesn't
But
benefit me.
that's you could vote and you could join the military. That's all 18's worth.
Mhm.
So what would you consider? Do you consider this guy to be still a young man?
Yeah.
Instead of a quote man.
Well,
I mean, he's a coward in my opinion.
He's a pussy.
Yeah. If we're being honest and not PC, he's a cocksucking pussy.
We're being fair. We would have beat the shit out of him.
I'm so gangster and racist, I'm going to go shoot black old ladies. Yeah, cringe lord for life.
But honestly, I'll use Buffalo as the example. What made him into an adult was making a very adult decision, which was massacring how many 10, 15 some people, right? And
crazy adult
doing something like that because no fucking 12-year-old decides, let me wear military body armor and grab a fully automatic rifle and light a bunch of people up
on Twitch. Go to a supermarket on a Saturday night.
And not to mention, you have to be an adult to legally get a gun anyway. So he got a gun, thus he's an adult.
You say that flashes me right back to Texas here and what's coming out, because I don't know if it's nationwide or Texas specifically, but I heard you had to be 21.
Behind the bar 2.0.
Mano, salute, bro.
Damn, I'm still scared to curse around my old man.
Yeah. Look, it took some time for us to get used to.
In all fairness, it's because I'm bigger than him. So
yeah, okay. Knock you the fuck out. Now, I've always let them express themselves, really, him and Katie. I don't really like the F word out of Katie around us. I don't like him really cursing as much around it, like his mother and things like that. But we're trying to keep this loose, like a podcast. You know what I mean, like a conversation. So of course,
I'm just saying, if you have an issue with me cursing, you might not want to sub to my channel. My channel. I'm just gonna say you've gone too far.
Main curses.
If you don't want to hear cursing, then
he's just making a great point.
Ryan's toy review is like next aisle over.
It took me a long time to I understand what he's saying, because I didn't really curse around my parents till I was 19 when you were, or 20 when you were born, 19 when your mom got pregnant. So I think that's different. You're having a kid, but like I said, with the kids, we've always been, let them express themselves. Up until a few years ago, it was like you can get away with the shits, asses, and stuff like that. We're not exactly middle America PC religious family or anything.
We're not the suburban. We're not the suburban.
He doesn't curse. He'll never curse at his mother. He doesn't curse us out. And he's probably, and as I always say, he's one of the, I couldn't ask for a better kid. I tell him that all the time. School's an issue with everybody, so you can't hold that against anybody. So what other problem would I have? He gets up and goes, contributes, so that's all you can ask for. So that's what I'm saying. I know there's parents out there that hear those curses and lose their mind. Not Maine. Maine is behind the bar, just so you know when I say Maine. He doesn't mean it that way. He's just saying, the respect he has, the way he was raised, he still doesn't feel comfortable. Totally understandable for sure. But I'd rather have my kid cursing like this and be the good person I know he is than not curse and not know what they're going to grow up to. Like maybe this kid in Texas.
I don't want to obviously say you should let your kid say fuck shit 90 times and then he won't turn out to be a sick person. But suppressing your kid, most serial killers were horrifically suppressed as children. Dictators, Hitler, Stalin were all suppressed as children. Yeah, and they fucking did horrific things.
And it seems that way still to carry to this day. It's like anytime you see a serial killer, they had some weird fascination with their mother. Daddy wasn't there syndrome.
It's very rare when you see a serial killer or doing someone who does horrific acts that has both parents in a will, set up family dynamic and nothing, and they have no real disorder wrongs.
And I kind of feel that way as well, because I really do feel you're a product of your environment. You know,
Almost
as we say, racism is nature, not nurture. I mean,
Nurture,
excuse me,
not
backwards. Thank you. Nurture, not nature. It sounded wrong when I said it because you can only be taught something like that. So you're definitely a product of your environment. If you're brought up in to know what morals and standards are. I had a disagreement with someone a few days ago that was saying the only way you can know morals is the Bible, which I disagreed with because even though I've read the Bible, so it wouldn't stand for me, you haven't.
I mean, but in all fairness, I haven't read the Bible, but I was also I was raised by people who have.
Yeah.
And obviously, I celebrate and still celebrate those holidays.
As I say, Christian adjacent on the holidays.
Exactly, but for all intents
we still
and purposes,
say prayers and God bless.
Atheistic, but you know.
Now let me ask you: you wouldn't believe nothing if God came to Earth right now and you knew it wasn't CG.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, this is the moment. That wouldn't change your mind.
Well.
If God came down and said, "Hey, believe right now and you're going to heaven. Don't believe you're going to hell." In that moment, you have to.
I gotta be honest. If God came down from heaven to specifically talk with me, shit's going really
No, he's
south.
Talking yeah, right.
Shit's going
We're
down.
in trouble if he's coming to talk to a Murphy.
Why me? Am I the savior?
Yeah, God's coming specifically for a Murphy. We're in trouble.
I'm about to say it's like
Breezy, salute. Welcome in, Breezy. I want to see if I missed anyone else. Maine. Hell's Angels, salute. Again, guys, anyone that doesn't have a wrench, please drop their links. Anyone that does have a wrench, drop your link if you're a content creator. And someone, please keep dropping the Cheese Curl Poppies. Junior, me and Kel's son, we're having a conversation over here. We are at 5:23. So no, that's what I'm just saying. Hypothetically, God's talking to everyone, not just you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's like, because there's a difference between an atheist and an agnostic, and that's why I asked. So God comes down, you know it's not CG, it's not magic, it's the real deal. That wouldn't change your mind on heaven and hell?
Well, change my mind on it, I'm not sure, but I would want to ask them what's the truth or what was just like made up by some sheep farmer 2,000 years ago.
Well, I mean, I think everyone has to decide that as they grow up, and you know, some people.
I would try and ask them some real questions, not just like if you take everything at face value, then that's what a child does. An adult would ask some serious questions. If I have the opportunity, I want to know some answers here.
I mean, I think everybody, you know, the meaning of life, and everyone. You're 42 now, but everybody wants to know. You know, everyone has those questions, and in religion, faith is what helps with those questions.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, you have different sects of people out here nowadays. You have people who are spiritual, but not religious, which means which kind of what I am. I believe in a creator that I don't understand, but I believe all the other shit is bullshit. And I think you're kind of in that same boat because, like I always say, I feel we're way too complex. Everything is way too complex to be a miracle. We may be the miracle because we're the only planet that's far enough away and close enough that could breathe life. I do believe that sometimes. But there has to be a creator because you wouldn't be here without me and your mother.
Oh, yeah. I mean, or all that, like,
God, so there has to be a starting
universe. Honestly,
maybe he didn't. Let's say that was just forces, but let's just say, well, he would have to, honestly. And we saying he also adds to the common theology, which isn't what we're trying to do. So we'll say, quote, it.
Yeah.
Just so we say it's a higher presence that's not specific. What we'll say, quote, painted the universe and bred everything. I believe there has to be something there.
With me, I don't know. I feel like it's because I don't believe there was something. Because to me, the whole universe being created by someone who was just all part of their plan feels a lot more nihilistic than just saying us being here in and of itself shouldn't have happened. So let's make the most of the fact that we were technically a big mistake if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Like out of like the Earth being at the perfect time, our species not getting eaten by a bigger animal.
Well, I do believe that when the alien talk starts, because there's a few reasons. Obviously, why would an alien want to come here? Like, think of this: if we think of it in a movie's perspective, you're in this intergalactic battle, and you're going to come visit this planet that's still fighting each other.
And let's be honest, I forget which scientist said it. Probably some bigwig. I don't know.
Don't quote me on the name.
But but they were saying if an alien species is able to travel like light years to us in a spaceship, no matter what we think of, we're gonna get fucking destroyed. Because if they're that advanced, there's nothing we can do but just do what they want us to do. We're nowhere near that advanced.
Of course, it would be.
It took
it
us.
would be like a human into an insect.
It would basically it took humans 60 years to figure out how to get a guy on a rock. A couple, like maybe 3 light years away from 100.
I don't think it's 3 light years. 290,000.
Yeah, it took us 60 some years to get from an airplane to getting a guy all the way to the moon.
It's not bad though.
It's impressive, but if an alien species is thousands of years ahead of us, we're fucked.
Think of this. Today is 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 1722. 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
Where we sit right now. Look how advanced we are.
Well, yeah, with 300 years, of course.
But now
we're currently
really.
sitting was a big field on top of the
but if we look at that, if we look at what we can just observe and theorize of ancient Rome, ancient Greece, some of these places lasted 300 years,
mm-hmm.
and their advancement was art. They would make pottery,
military
temples, things of that, and we're finding their spearheads, and we're sitting here with a light, fans, a phone broadcasting us, and just the names I could see on the screen that I'm aware of: Virginia, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Florida, North Carolina. That's just in the observable comment section here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 300 years to get from there to there. We're talking about you would have to write a letter. People weren't disconnected. So it's so, people do. And I always say, look at the advancement from 1923 or 1922 to 2022. Cars are completely different. There's 80 different kinds now.
Well, I feel like that's also from 1822 to 1922. It was 100 years for humans to develop.
That was a vital 100. It was like what we did.
The First World War.
What we did in this 100 was advance those ideas from that 100.
Because like from the 1800s to the 2000s, I would say that was like one of the most rapid human, I don't want to say evolutions, but societal evolutions we've ever had. Because we went from
Sweet Indiana, Mom, welcome in. Kenny Cut. Drop your link, Ken. Keep going.
We like from 1800, it was obviously, England or Britain was like the top of society. And then by the end of this time frame, they're like the second place, basically.
Well, they're
third, fifth, something like that.
It's hard to say because I've been kind of noticing this as I've been, as you said, a fan of history, as am I. And did they lose?
In what context?
Revolutionary War. Did they lose?
Okay, so I'll just say for the Revolutionary War, America didn't win on their own. You had France and Spain.
Sure. But did we win? We became allies.
Yes, but we gained independence, so by definition, yes, we won.
Independence.
They gave up mostly.
We still had to pay taxes here.
Europe.
We still had to pay taxes here. You don't know how much of that money was still going there then, even to this day, maybe. I mean, we're only these are only theories. None of this is fact, guys. Murph, TheDirtyKenzo, having a conversation with my son, me and Kel's son, Junior. Also known, check him on YouTube, CHEESECURLPAPI, does gaming, entertainment, I guess vlogs, I guess it would be called. I don't know. I don't know what you would call that.
What
like if you're talking about an entertainment piece.
Commentary,
thank you. That's a good word for it.
Definitely. Anyone in the chat right now, if you want to ask a question, go for it. I mean,
yeah, guys. Any questions you guys have in the chat? We actually are going to take an intermission in just a minute here. We are coming down to our last half hour. We will be dropping a song in a minute here. But yeah, you guys have any questions for me or the Poppy over here? Feel free to drop them. I may have missed some earlier. I do apologize. Again, make sure you guys are hitting that like button, to subscribe. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/TheDirtyKenzo. Or you could just contribute through Cashapp, Zelle, or PayPal. TheDirtyKenzo on Instagram as well. CHEESECURLPAPI on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah, Rich was around earlier. I haven't really seen him since. I think I sent this to him. I may have. Definitely, Honda. I want to put that up. Everybody make sure you sub to each other to help each other out. That is a fact. That's what I said that with Cal's last night. I was like, yo, how awesome would it be to have like everybody who has content in this community be monetized? No one has nothing like that. You've seen people do these little what are they called? Content house? What do they call them?
It's like a bit of a like group, basically.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? What do they call them? Jake
Oh.
Paul had one, and
I know Vanos. The
Content
dude
house.
Vanos had. They were called Vanos, or that's what they were all.
yeah, I forget they had
monetized.
a specific, new school name from,
Um,
but it's just a house where
Not
everyone
membership.
makes content, you know? So imagine that times 3, because you've seen them with 6 or 7.
network. I think they're called network.
No,
right?
no, I forget what they call
I
the
think I'm a
house.
machinima. That shitty.
Yeah,
fucking
I'm talking
company.
about a house where everyone in it lives together and films
Yeah,
content.
which sounds like the biggest clusterfuck I've
It
ever.
is. Remember on
terrible.
Fresh Prince, Hillary was one?
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Influencer house, right?
Something
Like that. But they usually have 6 or 7 people. Now imagine we're coming with like 40 people. That's a whole different atmosphere. Then you get news stations to start looking at, TV stations, Netflix, things of that nature, looking at and go, yo, I watched 5 of your lives. You think you can get a few of those people you were with and come up with a Netflix show? You never know when that shit pops up when you have high numbers of support like that. Just going through, I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Any questions? Oh, head salute. Anyone just tuning in again, senior and junior, having a conversation over here. Please subscribe to CHEESECURLPAPI if you enjoy what you're hearing from him. Smart young man, hopefully a future world leader in YouTube. But no, and I understood to go all the way back to the beginning of the show. I kind of understood what you mean by like you'd like to get really big just to have pause, but you just so you could. No problem. Pause. But but you know what? Like you said, just to mention a YouTuber's name and change their life overnight. Because it happens. Someone might have.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah, someone has 1,000 and then they have 10. You're like, holy shit.
I was watching a video by dude Diesel Pad. I was watching it, and then like his next video, PewDiePie had mentioned him in like You Laugh You Lose thing. He said go check him out. He has really good stuff.
Wow.
He went from like 25K to like 200K in one night.
Wow.
And basically then now he's at 1 million, and I think he stagnated since. But,
and it's so weird because it's like a lot of like. It's the way the algorithm works. If there was no algorithm, some of us would be quote famous already.
But sometimes the algorithm helps you if you know how to manipulate it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. But I'm saying if you look at Facebook's algorithm, look what happened with the TheDirtyKenzo meme page. We had one meme that was seen by 2 million people, like in 3 days. Like the numbers were crazy. We were like, what has happened? Our numbers went from I did a 5K show. I did a 500 show, live. Then I did a 5K. A week later, we were at 40. It was like, because that's what the algorithm does. Like Behind the Bar, Maine and Milkman's in here. Comedy and music. People would watch that on a Friday night every day of the week. Every week of the year, rather. So it's like the algorithm's only going to push him out to those certain eyes. I think he has, let's say, 5,000. And it's like, why is he being restricted by an algorithm? Why would it hold somebody back? Yeah. Why would it? Like, the only reason people ever found my show that wasn't invited through the community was when I had 420 in the name, as I do, and someone searched hashtag 420. I said, hey, buddy, how'd you find us? And he said, I was smoking and I searched 420. Like you said, knowing how to work the system.
Not just that, it's also because with the YouTube algorithm, it's like likes help a little bit, but to be honest, comments are really what helps you out. There's like a ton of comments talking, then YouTube doesn't really look at what they're saying. All they know is, oh, that's a big number next to comments. Clearly people are engaged, so let's push it even more. Which is how some shitheads get popular, because people are calling them that, but then YouTube doesn't realize it because it's a robot.
Yeah.
They just notice the big number next to it and say, fuck it, push it.
It's weird too, because it's if you know how to work quote the whole system. There's a kid out here now named Trey Rags. Are you aware of him? He's big on TikTok. So me and him started YouTube at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We both had 200 subs at the same time, right? He left and went to TikTok and then used YouTube to play like the full TikToks and things of that nature. Blew up. Next time I seen him, he had like 50K on YouTube. Started in Griffey's page. We were like sub for sub. We subbed for sub for each other in Griffey, young Long Beach Griffey.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Like, yeah, it's just crazy how that works. And it's like he knew how to work that system, right? You know. But you know, while we're in the where we at? We got about 25 minutes left here. So I do want to get it a little serious here. We had a really fun time in the beginning here. I do want to get back down to the news recently. Just pick your mind, you know, see how the generations are different between us on the issues with Southern Texas and Buffalo. And you, like you said, anything else that's so, you know, these are just going to be, I want to ask you some questions, not super rapid fire, but let's just keep the answers 2 minutes ish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just so we can keep it rolling. So I think you know, before we get too in deep with Buffalo or Texas, I would say, what do you, you know, a almost 19-year-old young man, lives in the Northeast, Caucasian cis male, as you know, most would say. How do you see the presidency / government and things of that nature?
Well, I'll just start off from the top, I guess.
Virgo, salute.
I'll start off from the top with the presidency, I guess. The only real presidency I can really give it Biden comparison to is mostly Trump, because I remember his presidency to the full. Obama, I only remember the twilight of it. And Bush, I was a toddler or infant for most of it, so I don't remember it. So I would say for Biden, I mean, obviously, I don't want to I feel like pinning everything on the president is a little unfair because they don't control it.
Because there's hundreds of people.
Yeah, it's not an oligarchy. It's a really bloated bureaucracy.
It's getting to an oligarchy.
It's a bureaucracy that's very bloated as shit. So, like, obviously, like, oil prices. Well, the president could affect oil prices. Don't get it wrong.
But he's not the only one.
Oil companies, you know, it's capitalism. The company, if anything, has more power than he does if they feel like it.
We have a quick question, and we'll get back to the topic in a second. But Pam had asked, what are any of your career aspirations?
Really.
What do you want to be when you grow up, you little rascal?
I always, no offense to Pam, it's not on her, but I always hated when teachers would ask, like, a fifth grader that question, because it's like, bro, I'm like 12 years old.
10 years old.
I'm like 10 years old. I don't even have body hair yet. I don't even fucking know what a career is.
You're like, I don't know yet. I like, they ask a 10-year-old and then get mad when you give a dumb answer, right? You're like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I want to take the change out of arcades. I'm like, that job pays shit. You asked a 10-year-old. At least he's wondering how the fucking arcade works.
Or not even that. It's like I remember being asked that question in like second or third grade. I'm like, dude, I don't understand how my dick works yet. You're asking me what I want to do with my life. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
So currently now, I really don't know. I'll be honest with you.
But so let's speak on maybe like what's your biggest interest right now. You would say you'd hope, you know, you're still a student, but you'd hope to further your online career.
That, and I don't know. Basically, I don't want to sound like one of those Beverly Hill girls, you know, like wanting to be famous type shit. But I want to create shit that millions can enjoy. I feel like that's a really nice thing to do because, you know,
a lot of the people
get into the film industry. That fucking rotten bunch.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy too, because it's like, to be realistic, it's so hard to break into those things, and especially even more as a good-hearted person, it seems. Because it seems through the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, anywhere someone can manipulate a child, they did. The churches, coaches. You know, it's crazy with all that stuff. Yeah. So, you know, again, we'll, you know, thank you for the question, Pam. Anybody else having any questions? You know, we'll try to answer them along the way. Just a few compliments I'm seeing for you in the chat. Kimber says your son has a very good head on his shoulders. You've raised him well. Yes, me and Kels. I think we gave him a great balance of logic along with heart and empathy and, you know, things of that nature. Victor Doan saying you're bright and insightful. Deuce, my old head, saying pretty good for 19. Not even 19 yet.
Finally, a young and not bathroom confused.
Yeah, Deuce is a joke. Deuce, he's not a joke. He makes jokes.
I was gonna say I'm very confused.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, that sounded like I was coming at him. I surely wasn't.
I say, what do you mean? I use the dude bathroom. I'm so confused what you're at. What you were
Sis, now it's funny. Me and Kels have talked to him about maybe wanting to be a professor or a history teacher, and he would love. I would let. I mean, I'm going to let him speak on it, but just to say, what he had told us was he would love it for the students, but with the way you see schools being ran this day and age, it's troublesome for them.
Yeah, like I'll use what I recently learned in history as context. So we were learning about a month or so ago. We were learning about World War One. Right?
Heaven said, "How's it feel to be bigger than your dad?"
In more ways than one. Great, honestly.
I'm not. He's got like 4. The other day, I was pulling the shopping cart up the block for Kells, and I'm like, "Here, grab this." I'm like, "You need to straighten your back, bro. You're gonna." He's like, "I'm taller than you." I'm like, 3 inches taller, dog. Calm down. But you were saying about World War One.
About a month ago, yeah, in history, we were learning about World War One, and Woodrow Wilson was president at the time, and not a thing was said about the fact that he's the reason the KKK became a thing again in America.
Yeah, there's so
not
much.
A fucking word about it. If anything, there was only praise for the man when he was horrifically racist, even for the time.
The only people who know Woodrow Wilson are historians.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, if you want to learn more, look up Cynical Historian on YouTube. He breaks amazing.
Yeah, he broke it. He broke down shit I didn't know. But he's also responsible for some of the Federal Reserve laws and things of that nature. That's a fact.
Cynical Historian, no way.
So think of that. He not only brought back one of the most hateful groups, right? He also screwed our money for generations, contributed to it's just crazy. But that's when people were saying Trump was the worst. I'm like, he's up there, but Woodrow.
I don't even say
there's Andrew Jackson hated the form of money we have, so it's and he was a stout racist.
He adopted 2 native children, right? I mean, obviously after forcing their parents to march to death.
Yeah, of course.
It was a little shitty sentiment.
Yeah, his nickname was Indian Killer, so I don't think.
Yeah, a really shitty sentiment. Hey, I'll kill your parents, but hey, you want to live in my house? But out of the worst presidents list, Trump and Biden aren't even in the top, or in the I'll say top 20, maybe. Yeah. They're definitely not in the top 10.
Trump might be 9.
I wouldn't even put him there, to be honest with you.
Just quick questions, hobbies outside of YouTube.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about someone naming hobby. I was just like, what?
No, Pam asked hobbies. All
right. Hobbies outside of YouTube. Obviously, games, video games,
which is still
one of my channels is
still kind of part of YouTube.
I really don't know. I want to sound I'm just a typical high school guy. None of that
shit. You watch a lot of content,
but
too,
I guess I don't really know how to answer video games, YouTube. I don't know, beating my dick. I don't know what you want from me.
You motherfucker! You are my son. Jesus
I don't know I don't know.
There's ladies in the room. You just made people spit soda out their nose.
Good.
I told y'all not safe for work, so. Y'all were
we waited what, an hour or something in there
before we dropped y'all were
we dropped the dick beating joke.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna
what's your daddy dick beaters away and get back on point.
He's gotta squeeze one
in. But yeah. So I would say, obviously, as you said, it's not just the president. So your feelings, I imagine your feelings on let's say all 3 branches of government kind of run the same, or I mean, I feel that we society kind of holds them at different standards. I think the judicial system gets the most leeway. Judges, the Supreme Court, they can it's their word, that's it. Congress and Senate, Congress as a whole, Senate, House of Representatives, I mean, they're the ones that really make the changes in the laws and things like that. So, I guess that all flows together. So, I just want to check she said dick beater, put the hands up. Pam's a goof too. You're fucking with a bunch. We all have fun over here. But we got 22 in the chat right now. Hit that like button for me if you haven't, please, and thank you. Talking to Junior, CHEESECURLPAPI. We'll be wrapping it up in just a little bit. Enjoying the conversation here, though. So let's just get down to past the jokes and all that stuff. Any feelings you'd like to put out, let's say, about the Texas situation first, and then we'll go to the Buffalo situation. Anything you feel you didn't get to say, I mean, I could give you a little bit of a lead. We'll go Buffalo first.
I mean,
We've seen the video, me and you, and I know it. I don't want to say it upset you, but it did. It didn't make you super emotional, but it upset us. We weren't emotional, but we were upset.
Most normal people don't watch someone's head get shot and someone watch someone
Let's
get
not
shot
be
in the
too
head
descriptive,
and
just in case people haven't, and for the respect of the families. You can continue. I'm just saying let's not get too.
But yeah, after seeing something like that, most sane people don't just like calmly just like, well, that was something anyway. Time to make pot roast, I guess.
Yeah.
So with both of them, I really don't feel like anything I can say hasn't already been said a million times over. It's just can't really understand where they're coming from in the slightest because they're both like fall from the same shitty tree, apples from the same terrible tree. So
how do you feel about the gun debate?
Honestly, with guns, I feel like it's a tough decision because obviously this country, started with the rule of you can have a gun. But in all fairness, when that rule was made, guns took about 20 minutes to fucking load. So of course that law made sense.
Yeah, as I always bring up to most, I understand, and me and you've been debating over this a little bit. And as I said, a lot of people don't always realize. Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm not even going to tell you anything.
The Batman salute the citizens of Gotham.
Hello, Batman. I'm Batman. What the hell?
Tell Superman so what's up.
But so what is the Second Amendment? What is what does it? What does our right to bear arms mean?
For your own safety and protection.
From who?
Anyone that's trying to hurt you,
including
a tyrannical government or someone who's trying to kill you. That's what it shouldn't be for offensive measures.
For sure, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Sure, I believe in smart gun safety. I believe in no crazy people should be. But however, do you believe we should restrict legal guns?
In what context? To whom?
Legal guns, legal gun owners.
To restrict them.
Let's say they ban assault rifles.
Yes.
You believe we should?
Yeah.
So what happens when the bad guys got the AKs and you don't? You have to rely on the police to do it, right?
And they're fucking
the same ones that just stood outside of.
But then again,
I'm not trying to make you. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to tell you how I see it.
But I don't.
Listen. I don't want. If there were a way for a genie to appear and say, "Make all assault rifles disappear," nukes and assaults gone off Earth, I would be the first to wish it.
Yeah.
We can wish in one hand and shit in the other. See what happens. Let's see which one fills up first. All you have to do is take a quick look. I appreciate everybody. I'm not trying to offend anyone with this at all. I'm just giving my opinion, bouncing off my son to see his opinion. So we could see with the war on drugs, criminals don't give a fuck what the law is.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to say criminals. Let's say people don't give a anybody. Yeah. I'm sitting here smoking federally illegal drug, legal medically in my state. Federally, a Fed could get me on that still. They wouldn't because I don't sell or grow. But I've seen it happen. People in LA, which it was medical a decade before everybody else, and then legal. Feds would come get certain dispensaries out there back in the day. Just keep fucking with them because the city couldn't. But it kind of threw me a little off track. So you just bear with me here. Okay, so just to my point, marijuana, heroin, cocaine, they've all been illegal for how long? 100 years?
Resay it again.
Drugs. All the hard ones.
Obviously, when
they've been illegal for about 100 years.
Something like that, because before it was kind of impossible to enforce it because everyone lived 20 miles apart.
For sure, we're estimating now as well because cocaine was in Coca-Cola. Heroin was in Mommy's little helper pills.
It all kind of started crumbling down around
100 years
the
ago.
40s and 50s.
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting close on that. We're getting close to the 100 years on everything. We're only about 8 years from marijuana's 100 years and things of that nature. What has that done? The war on drugs is 40 years old.
If anything,
newsflash, drugs won.
Listen, when alcohol was illegal during Prohibition, all it did was make a new thing for illegal people to make hella money.
Before we get too deep into anything else, saying the same logic applies.
Yeah.
Why would you give up yours?
My drugs?
Your drugs, exactly. Don't give up your... No. Why would you give up your assault rifle knowing we're not even going the route of the tyrannical government foreign or domestic. We're not even going to that portion. We're going protecting your family.
Yeah.
So as long as the assault rifles remain on the streets to any of those two I just mentioned, I would believe I would need it as well. As long as a criminal could kick in my door at 4 a.m. with one, or an army, a soldier, or a cop, or any stranger trying to hurt my family or me, or try to impede on my freedoms, I should have the same match. Guess what? Here's a kicker. I can't have the same match as the government because I don't have nukes.
Or
they've always got us
like
beat.
a soldier would break in our house and try and kill us, but then what? We kill the soldier and then they shove a fucking missile.
I understand that. I'm just saying,
so
well, that would be, we're not talking Wolverines.
I feel like we've moved past the point where a bunch of plucky underdogs could defeat the United States military.
That's why I said I wasn't
going that.
But that's why I said I wasn't even going that route. But with as extreme as we're seeing things on the street with elite, you think these murders we're seeing in our towns everywhere, like that homeless situation we talked about, it's not just those places. There's also crime in these places, and it's everywhere. With drugs comes crime.
Hold on. So wait. So was Coca-Cola sold like alcohol back then? No, when it first came out, they sold it like how it's sold now. It's just like, hey, some for the kids. Come on.
No. Coca-Cola.
20 cents a bottle.
It was like an antacid.
It was basically, you got an upset tummy, drink a Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
don't ask why you're hyper.
But the coca part is because the coca bean was inside the recipe.
And he had a little bit of magic.
But they used to put heroin in pills, and it would be called Mommy's Little Helper. There was cocaine in those things. Soldiers on every side in World War II were taking amphetamine, what we would call no. What's the pill? I'm drawing a blank. Adderall. What we would think of as Adderall this day, but it was meth in a pill form. Soldiers on both sides of German and American were taking those.
Yeah, there's a story.
So, but then you had the DEA born, things of that nature, and they started to, prohibit that marijuana. But, there's things behind it, and there's a lot of history to those things. There was a lot of racism behind drugs. The only people who did cocaine, as I'm telling you guys, cocaine was inside these, quote, Mommy's Little Helpers. So, this is the stereotype to fit that Mommy Little Helper is what? A middle-aged white woman in the suburbs. Help her through her day. Meanwhile, we'll say the newspapers at the time are, quote, I'll say allegedly, slandering, saying that cocaine has to be banned because it makes blacks and Mexicans crazy. Or hippies. So you have to understand that these things were prohibited strictly because of counter movements. I mean, they were blamed on counter movements, but there's always something else, is what I meant to say. Like, if you realized all the uses of hemp, it's the non-psychoactive part of the cannabis plant. You cannot get high off it at all. It's what the Constitution's written on. It's what every pirate shit you ever saw's ropes are made of. All that. So it could take over for so many industries that a lot of people believe that's why there's a ban on it. We're going to run overtime tonight, guys. We're going to go till 6:30.
So I want to answer Heaven's question.
Sure. Heaven is Barnes' wife.
Okay, so she says, "Oh wow, so were kids drinking it, or was it considered medicine?" Kind of both, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
I want to obviously. It's not like I was there to attest, but from what you could read. They were just drinking it like it's how it is now. It's just it's something to drink. Not just that, and like stuff like that. Where now we look back and like, well, that was incredibly dangerous for a kid to drink.
And that's what happened
in the 50s. In the 50s, if you call like an 11-year-old smoking a cigarette, it's like, hey, buddy, need a light? That was all it was. Yeah. Now, if you get your kid smoking a cigarette, it's like,
I don't know if I would say maybe the 30s, to your point, as much as the 50s, because I feel like the 50s.
Oh yeah.
50s is kind of.
I'm mostly from the outsiders.
Well, yeah. But you got to remember the 50s. Yeah. The 50s is kind of when suburbia was starting to be built.
That's the nuclear family.
The nuclear family, exactly. So that's when it was like, no, Johnny, you're not smoking till you're in the war, son. You know what I mean?
You can't smoke until you can shoot the Korean.
Meanwhile, his dad started smoking at like 8 in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
I lived in Brooklyn in 1928. I was born smoking a stogie.
Well, yeah, it's because, before World War II, America leading up to World War II was, like, very disorganized in a way of people in the cities, like, you would, like, I know it's, like, kind of like I don't want to say a stereotype, But it's kind of like, you see like this group of young, whatever they're called. I forget what they're called, like young hooligans. Yeah, young hooligans running the streets, pickpocketing and drinking and smoking or whatever. And then World War II hit, and it was just like, clean up the streets, can't have them out there having fun. Fuck that, get them in the home.
No, they got kids. Were how old are they? Is he 17 yet? That's here. We have different rules. I don't think there's been a draft here since what, 9?
Yeah, that was last because it was so unpopular.
And that's they had to.
And we've never had military numbers low enough to ever need one.
We haven't.
We have enough. We have a big enough reserve force that's unnecessary.
We have a great voluntary force.
Which I'm just saying, any 18-year-old man in the audience, don't be shocked like I is. You have to sign up for the selective service. Don't forget, please.
So let me ask you this: I'll pose you a hypothetical where I'm a solution maker.
Okay.
And you're the U.S. public.
Okay.
Okay. Better solution to protect schools.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just start there. I mean, we could get everywhere, hospitals, whatever. And you got to understand, guys, let me just break down to the side. I have a lot of issues with what happened in Texas because of the restrictions I've seen in Philadelphia. Like, you have to have a presidential recommendation to get into a school. Like, you have this guy just walk in the door. But I digress. So, you're the U.S., you're the public.
Okay.
Would we rather ban these weapons from legal gun holders or hire legal gun owning veterans to protect schools?
Well, then with veterans, we also run the risk of them having like PTSD or something.
So,
and
great
shooting
point.
a kid.
Great point. Monthly mental checks. They have to be. I do understand a lot of people come home from PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
with PTSD from war. That's what makes it like, so the mental, they would have to.
Yeah.
There's no like the debate with guns, like, oh, should people have to be, should do this, do that? They would have to.
Yeah.
However, oh shit, like Grant. However, it's 2 birds with 1 stone because we have a big problem of screwing our veterans over in this country. So I'm talking, a lot of veterans go to the VA every month.
Mm-hmm.
Check-ins, see a doctor, whatever. So we prove that they are of perfect sound in mind. You know what I mean? Could have been a computer guy, never shot maybe shot one guy one time because he had to. Wasn't infantry. Let's just say that wasn't infantry. Well trained.
Yeah.
I think that's a better idea than arming the teachers.
Yeah.
Because to get every teacher to take that psychological exam is something different.
Not to mention, I've been in enough classrooms where if the teacher had a gun, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't currently be sitting here.
And we're also seeing a rise in teacher-student fighting. So I don't know if
I thought that F was going to go somewhere else, and I'd be more interested.
No, but you think of this. Yeah, right.
There's
a rise in teachers fucking. Don't talk about it.
I'm in business.
Where were these teachers when I was in school?
Exactly. Where the fuck are they at with me, bro? Come on.
That's just a joke, everybody, because when you really break it down, it goes back into the social dynamics of men and women. Because it's like, when you hear a woman teacher is sleeping with a young man student, you're not as offended if it was a man doing it to a woman.
When it's a guy
society-wise,
when it's a guy teacher and a girl student, it's like, I'm sorry to hear. But when it's a male student, you have a round of applause and a pat on the back. I got a boy.
Mm. Well, that's what I'm saying. I just feel I've heard the debate over arming teachers.
Yeah.
And let's say the common high school has 20 teachers. You wouldn't need 20 armed vets, would you?
Because
how many armed vets will we need to protect your school too?
With all those teachers.
But here's an issue with yesterday. Like, I don't want to talk too much shit. I don't want to slander. But when the stories are coming out that a few officers run in, get shot, and retreat, waiting for stronger artillery. I said that wrong, but who cares?
I seen you retract that message, Batman. What'd you say? Go ahead.
But with that being said, it's like these vets, they know their job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I know these cops did too. Things happen. You start seeing you got a handgun and somebody starts bucking with an assault rifle.
Well, with teachers having guns,
keep going.
but teachers have them. It's also teachers can get really distracted and have to go around the class and help people. And where the fuck are they going to have the thing hidden behind their desk and kick them around and just grab it if they want to, or have it on them and have it jumped away?
That's what a lot of people say too. What's my kid's teacher going to have a Glock in their desk?
Nothing's more intimidating than, oh, would you like to answer problem number 3? No, I skipped it. Let me ask again. You want to answer problem?
And also, let me just bring up another little quick counterpoint. I mean, to my, not counterpoint, but another towards my debate here. I feel, in my opinion, that there's a little more respect right now in society for vets than cops, even school cops. So that's why I'm thinking, these guys protecting your school, they're not going to be on the same type time as a school cop anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like 1 outside in the car, 2 inside in their office. If nothing ever happens, as a taxpayer, I'll pay it every fucking year.
I mean, with both of them, you could say the same argument on why soldiers get more respect than cops. I can't really tell you why, because when a cop could I don't know if I could say kill, but take out an innocent person, we all know that soldier could have committed a war crime, and we're praising them. So it's the same. It's like apple from the same tree. So you really don't know.
I think step 1 is really like I'm kind of losing it here. I had it a second ago. You could keep going. I'll try to.
Yeah, so a soldier committing a war crime against an innocent person, they're in the same fucking boat as the cop. But I feel like why soldiers get more respect is mostly because I feel like back in the day, this would make more sense because modern day, they're both optional. But like back when you were forced to join, it was you were forced to, but you did it anyway. You fought with honor. But being a cop was optional.
As somebody who would have to do so if it was, how do you feel about 2-year mandatory service like most countries have?
I would feel it's bullshit. Not cut straight to the chase. I don't feel like you should have to fight for a country if you don't want to. Because there's plenty of ways you can love.
Well, that's American. Let's speak up and just say I agree with.
Yeah.
You didn't have me until you said that.
Yeah.
You didn't, because I'm like, why not? And then I'm like, you know what? That's freedom.
Because
like that's freedom.
If I feel like
even if you wanted to register, not everyone might.
If I feel like the
look what happened to Ali.
Exactly. Muhammad Ali didn't want to go and fight in Vietnam. He said, I think it was, not to misquote the man, but it was, I don't have a problem with the Viet Cong. They don't have a problem with me. I don't see a point. That's how I feel too. I was nothing. A fucking Chinese person never did anything personal. An Asian, anything like that. They never did something to me. Why would I want to go and destroy their home? They didn't destroy mine.
Yeah. Okay, so
why rain hellfire on them if they didn't rain on me?
I kind of understand that, and I think I know what you're saying in a way of that's kind of why we're kind of lucky to not have that mandatory service, because our wars as Americans, we don't always feel are even as Americans, we don't always feel are just.
Yeah, it's America. Obviously we're not technically, but for all purposes, we're basically an island. Up north is our best friend, Canada, and Mexico is buddy with us.
Yeah, the allies on both sides.
And even if they weren't, it's fucking Mexico. We were going to crush them anyway. Same with Canada. We would crush them.
We have more people,
and anyone who would be considered a threat is an ocean away.
And you got to remember, we're one of the only countries that invested the way we have in our military for the last.
Not to mention, after World War II, every country in the world, mostly except for us, was devastated. We basically.
I would just say. So let me ask you this: if the service was there as like, this is for your freedoms in America, you would do it then. You're just saying you don't want to necessarily serve in an unjust war.
Yeah.
That's your point.
And to address cutthroat,
Kenny.
every kid out of high school should join the armed forces.
That's what he's saying. No, I think he moves along the same points as us. I didn't join the armed forces.
I strongly disagree because, I'll take it at face value. Assume you were being completely literal just for sake of an argument. If every kid out of high school had to join the army, then that would be a gigantic fucking military. That would be nightmarishly large. Yeah. And not just that.
We'd all be on the streets.
Millions of people who probably could have went to college and cured cancer or made beautiful art is going to die in a trench somewhere, and all that beauty would never be found. Think about it. Obviously, using the British guy who's seen Hitler in the trench and fucking pulled the trigger before. Yeah. But it's the same idea, There was millions of people like Hitler. I was not exactly, but in the same predicament, they went to fight for the country because they thought it would be best, and they died. But they could have went on to do great things, but we would never know because they're dead somewhere. They're in the ground.
Yeah, whatever camps
or worse.
Put them in, or worse. Yeah, definitely. That's crazy, man. It's definitely a good point. No, like I said, I think I think in ways that 2-year military service would help a lot of kids in this country. In my opinion, just because there's a lot of immature people out here, and not but on the same token, to play a little quick devil's advocate, look how crazy motherfuckers out here that ain't in the military. Look how like this kid in Buffalo was filming, had armor, and was well trained. You're not telling me he's not well trained, because I always hear like when I don't want to mess up his name. Was it Jacob Blake?
Who?
That was shot by the policeman in his back? It's Jacob. It's Blake, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I apologize. No offense if I said his name wrong. But when people are saying like, oh, he was shot in his back, someone said, police tell you to shoot center mass.
Yeah.
And the kid in Buffalo was like, it was, I don't want to get too in depth, but he was, he was taking the shot in the head and to people. So it's like, this kid was well trained, so it's like in the military, that kid might have, excelled as a quote citizen, because things aren't considered the same.
The kid was,
he could have came home with
no disrespect to military people. You're basically a bootlicker for being fair.
Yeah.
Military guard, military rifle, like
without being in the military.
Helmet, motherfucker rolled up like he's in Iraq, like like bootlicker type shit. But exactly. And read a comment from Jabaro. I don't know how to say that. Yibaro, sorry. I agree with you, Kenny. Look at Israel. I'm just saying I wouldn't use Israel as an example of anything, especially after the Palestine situation. I wouldn't use them as an excuse.
No, he's saying don't. Junior's saying
that's like using Germany for human rights example.
He said he wouldn't say that name online. He said it one time. He said, "I think everyone needs peace," and people were on him about it.
Oh man, but honestly,
that's what I'm saying. With Israel, they have the 2-year. Because Gal Gadot spoke on it.
Yeah, and Israel, excluding current events, for its about they were creating 47, so they're what 74 years old as a country. I know Granny was born 47, but they've been alive for a little almost over 70 years. And they've been at war about 20 or so times, and they've won like 19 out of them. And they're way smaller than their neighbors.
I just actually had almost like kind of an epiphany, because I'm still thinking on the mandatory service, even if it was just 1 year. We'll just say 1 year. How many? I was thinking, wow, there's so many kids that have like no direction, and what it would do for them, right? But that's what I started to realize as well. And a lot of the issue in this country, we don't have a direction.
Like I've said,
right? Like look at everything.
Yeah.
What's our direction?
Like I said it before. America has only times in history where America has thrived is when we have an enemy we're afraid of or want to fight. During World War II, we wanted to defeat Japan and Germany. Not so much Italy. They were a joke, but Italy too, I guess. And then during the 50s to 90s, we were afraid of the commies.
And we united.
Yeah, because
people,
exactly.
That's when women first got like into the steel industry and things of that.
And all that, and then from the 90s onward, we're the only superpower. We're alone on the mountaintop, so we just start fighting it ourselves. We have no one to fight.
Ibero said, "I wasn't endorsing the society, just the service requirements."
Yeah,
that's my guy. He's always dropping great ones like that. But I think to Pam's point right here, trade schools and college. More accessible. That's what I'm saying. Like
it should be free.
I tell her, I always joke about becoming president, but I'm like, now I am of legal age. So, and I was born here. I've been here for 14 years. That's the only thing she needs. So, but I'm like, I think my platforms are pretty damn good. I would legalize pot first day for every use, hemp and medical uses, everything.
And then make it a federal source of income. So that way,
of course,
it's no longer weed sold, because why would I buy?
Oh, we're making money. Yeah, we're making money.
I could just buy it from the fucking corner store.
So now we don't. It slows down black market coming from Mexico of all the drugs. Well, not all the drugs, but the marijuana at least, because we're making our own.
Yeah.
And it's double income because of the hemp.
Yeah.
As well as I believe in. This is just me, but I believe in universal health care for Americans. I believe in universal college and schooling for Americans. I believe in both of those things.
Yeah, and
I believe I pay taxes, and even if I had to pay $20 more a month, a week rather, to have those things universal for every American, I would.
And like you would have someone go to university to become a teacher, someone who's going to educate the future
Yeah,
of
that's what I'm
America,
saying.
and have them stressing out or having to pay student loans. Now they're focused on that instead of focusing on trying to enlighten people. Which student loans already everyone knows are kind of predatory kind of practices. Because people going to college that need to take the loans out clearly aren't well off, so they need the money, and so you're being predatory.
And you're getting hit with this amazing high interest. Yeah.
And
it's the same, even with healthcare, it's the same way. It's like, how many people, I mean, thank God, thank goodness that in the last few years we've gotten these quote ready cares. But before that, it was like, I got cuts and broken fingers all over me because I didn't have insurance at the time. What was I supposed to? So, that's where I'm at with a lot of the way they're
Kenzo for president.
With a lot of the ways they're trying to change laws and shit, like with Roe v. Wade, the right to a woman's choice. It's like the main thing we really got to focus on is when these things are illegal. I'm going to leave it real quick. I'm not going to stay on it too long. But the main thing to remember is it's still, and it goes back to guns, it goes back to drugs. It's still going to happen. Legal or there's a meme and it goes, it's like, one of those marijuana ones with the guy smiling. My favorite one is marijuana. Hey, at least it's not crack. Was always my favorite. But it's something like that. And it says legal or illegal, make it legal or illegal. I'm smoking it anyway. And that's just a stoner rebellious attitude. Yeah. That's not someone that's out here like, fuck it, I'll take the risk of selling drugs because it's fast money. It's, in my environment, it's something I'm used to. I lived that life. I sold drugs, but then I said, I got to work, get a job. I still did that when I had a job.
To kind of rebuttal with Victor Doan's question of who's going to pay for it, machines are taking over and no one wants to work as it.
Well, I mean, okay, so we're going back to my
that's kind of just like, not just for the weed. That's kind of just work in general.
So cool. So we're going back to my presidential. I'm ready for this one. All of our jobs are coming back here because the idiots that took dollars over common sense didn't realize we don't make money if we don't have the fucking jobs. All you got to do is look at Kensington to see what happened. There are warehouses everywhere because in the 20s and 30s, we were the capital of production and fabrication. We were making uniforms. Like you said, World War II. Pittsburgh was making all the steel. So it was Ohio, Philadelphia, that whole area, right? Soldiers, uniforms, everything everything that's needed for all that. You gave all those jobs away. That's the problem. Well, what's different between now and 1950? In 1950, 4 people used to have to wash your car. Now no one does. One guy at the booth in case your dollar gets stuck in the machine. That's the problem. We shipped all the jobs. The jobs have to come back. We have to find the happy balance of technology and common sense economics.
Honestly, with robots taking jobs,
that is my time.
Robots should only replace humans in the jobs where the risk for a human dying is extremely high.
Exactly.
Because a machine's easier to replace than a human.
There's one job I want robots doing. Crabbing.
Catching crabs and what?
Have you ever watched Deadliest Catch?
Yeah, I've seen
you know why it's called Deadliest Catch?
It's a rough job.
The deadliest job in the world per capita. Let's say they've had 1,000 people work at lifetime. 400 have died.
Victor, I'm talking about free healthcare. I'm for it, but how do we fund it? Okay, I can even answer.
Like I said, if I had to pay 20 more in my check just for that free health, there's 350 million Americans in America. That breaks down to probably about 125 million. 125 million adults, maybe a little more. Let's say 175. So of that, we got to see what you got to get your unemployment percentage based off that number. But let's say of all working adults, if all of us had to pay let's say $30 more a month, but all these services are going to the middle class is going to come back. Do you know what I mean? Government's going to play. This is all hypothetical. So the government would be playing its part. The marijuana industry would have us off, would fuel the entire country the same way New York used to pay for the whole South. That's why the Civil War ended. They couldn't afford to fight anymore because the North, New York,
most
New
of the
York,
soldiers were dead.
yeah, they lost so many
weren't gonna
people
give the
with
slaves
everything
weapons to
involved.
fight.
With everything involved, they just gave up.
And I want to scroll back up a little bit because someone said a fact I want to address.
But you got to remember, we're in a system that is not worried about the things we're talking about in this hypothetical.
Yeah.
So, Victor, we don't even have to pay the extra 20 out because the hemp industry and the legal marijuana as a medicine and as a recreation, like how much money we make a year off beer?
Not to mention,
weed's bigger
if you
than
legalize
beer.
every drug, like prostitution,
yeah, but then
like
things
that.
become. I mean, I think some sex things need to be loosened up as well. We're not. This isn't the 1500s where we're thinking women are witches and burning.
And not even that. It's just it doesn't. I feel like there are some things where
I think people should have control over their bodies, and I don't think unless if someone does a drug in their own home and doesn't hurt anybody, why do we care?
With the government,
why do you care? Why would let's say I'm just going to grab a random name, Cutthroat Entertainment, Kenny. Why is it Kenny's concern? If I'm a stranger, I mean, obviously you'd have a concern because he's my friend on here.
Mm-hmm.
But if we were strangers, and they say random man in Pennsylvania drops acid, nothing happens. Why would he give a fuck, right? Unless you're trying to push a Christian ideology, because that's what they try to use for most of it. That's not this country. We're a melting pot. We don't have a specific religion. That's what.
Yeah, neither do we have an official language, even though English is spoken about.
Speak American.
Hoorah, bro.
But guys, with that being said, I'm gonna drop a little quick song for intermission. We'll come back for our final thoughts before we wrap it up at 6:30. This next one is an oldie but a goodie, and I know Queen Kells, Heaven, they know it. But one special lady, my sis Pammy, she really gonna like it. So it's time for the perseverance part. I will fight back. I will not falter. God, D, appreciate you, my brother. And we are back. What a great fucking pod, guys. I had a great time today. I want to thank CHEESECURLPAPI Jr. We're going to have a couple more minutes before we say a full goodbye, but I'm going to run through a whole bunch of stuff. Once again, thank you to friend and sponsor to the page, ATG TV. Check me out there Saturday nights. Don't forget to check out Cooking with Kels Thursday, 7 p.m. And guys, let's try to get CHEESECURLPAPI's subs up. Even like, even if you're not a full-time viewer, even if you're drop a like and a comment person, we would appreciate it greatly. I think we had a great combo with you guys in the chat. I did want to bring up one last point. I seen one of Doan's questions that I had missed. I see you saying it would be the collapse of Social Security, but I wasn't understanding how adding in a new economy and just bringing jobs back from foreign countries would do that. So if you're still here, I would just ask that point. It would be definitely something I'd be interested in talking further about. Like if that was, we could do that, I'd definitely do that. So let me know. Yebro on a freaking donation contribution. Thank you, brother. Yebro hitting the Cashapp, making us feel spicy.
It's because of me.
It's all you. It's all you.
Attraction,
Pam said, great live, bro. And nephew, Honda Mommy with the strong arm emoji. True with the Puerto Rican flags and the praying hands. Queen Kel's the love of my life, dropping all them links. Dropping the Young Wolf's links. But yeah, I really hope we got about 6 minutes left, if you guys were wondering. I do really hope to get, Junior on here again. Possibly this could lead into just doing a show by ourselves. We'll just do it on here. Maybe I'll move 420 if I have to, and we'll just do it this time every Friday. To your tight schedule. I have to check my schedule. But no, I had a great time. I think the chat had a really good time. Tara, salute. Yeah, TGIF for sure. But yeah, I think we touched a lot of points. We're only at 2 hours. We'll be done. It'll be about 2 hours and 10 minutes. But I think we got a lot out, but the only things I really wanted to say is, just to sum things up, spoke a little of Buffalo. In that situation, of course, from me, I would just say, prayers to all those who lost someone, all those affected by that. That young man is still alive, unfortunately, in my opinion. Because now, in my opinion, now keeping him alive on taxpayer money, which includes murdered people's families, which means someone killed their family and they got to pay for him to live in prison for the rest of his life. So, you know, I think I'm liberal in a lot of ways, progressive, but other ways I'm like, we need to be smarter. This kid was a clear racist, and I was seeing, you know, allegedly racist suspect, and it was like he had the N-word written on the gun. Went specifically to a black neighborhood where he knew the gun laws were strict. Like, what bothered me about it is, like, if a racist is so big and bad, take your ass where the men are, like, to where a location where there's a group of men. Like, don't shoot old ladies. Don't fucking lose your mind, shoot your grandmother, and then go shoot up an elementary school. Like, what was that kid trying to prove in Texas? God bless those children, those the teachers who put their life on the line for those students, the husband who had a heart attack from heartbreak, they're saying, and you know, I'm always, I try to think of everyone. So, everyone, even people who feel, they didn't respond right. I still want, their people to find peace.
Yeah, me personally, I can never really understand racism or anything like that, like that thought process, because especially where we grew up. I mean, my best friends were Hispanic and black, so it's very hard for me to feel prejudiced toward them.
I think
my best friends, went over their house, celebrated their holidays, ate their food.
I think that's why the Buffalo thing affects you the way it did, because racism like that.
Especially since it's in a region I grow up in where racism is not. I don't say not common, but it's very off-putting.
It's not like you hear in other places.
It's not like you're in the deep South where that shit where like N-word gets thrown around like it's going out of style by white people. But no,
yeah.
Like I think I've heard people call me gringo more than I've ever heard a white person say the N-word.
And gringo's a joke because that's a Mexican word, so they say that via as a joke,
Yeah, and me personally, I took being called gringo as like I don't say like a rite of passage. But took it in stride, I guess. I figured I am the only white guy on the street. Might as well embrace it, I guess.
And we know that, that's how you were raised, though. Not you base someone off their character. Someone's pieces of shit come in every cup.
It's like I've heard stories of people like not like in black people as an example. Black people because they were bullied by a kid in school in like elementary school who happened to be black or whatever. And, using that logic, I was too. I was picked on by a black kid in, like, second grade, but I don't hate every single black person. I don't like that one specific person because they were mean to me when I was a little kid.
Hating everybody based off one bad
that's how a little kid views people. You look like someone who was mean to me, so I hate you too. That like an adult doesn't think this way.
And it is sad because when you hear the word systemic racism, we're not going to get too deep, guys. We only do have minutes left here. But when you hear words like that, you're like, you do know in some places it is ingrained. So, I mean, I think if you look at the overall, hypothesis, the conclusion of the hypothesis of this podcast is we need a little more common sense and a little more, love and understanding is where I take it. I did see Victor saying it is hard to text to get his points across in Word. And Vic, that'd be something I would like to talk about more just to understand where each other's coming from, because that's what I'm saying. I feel the hemp and legal marijuana industry, we're talking a multi-billion-dollar industry that could change a lot, and we're also talking about bringing jobs that are created from that and bringing our manufacturing jobs back, so to speak. So it might be a rough few years, but I think we'd bounce back in a few years. But yeah, we don't want to get too crazy on it. I get called gringo. It means American. Okay, Vic. I mean, he's from New York, so same atmosphere. I'm from the DMV, a melting pot of all ethnicities, and I love it. DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia, and that's a fact. It's like when you get a little more south towards Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland. So yeah, salute to Canada though, because that's where the awesome Nat is from, and she was my first member on Patreon, and I appreciate it. But the first member in the TheDirtyKenzo Productions Army was the amazing Queen Kells, who said an awesome ass interview. It was. I said to him, I'm like, we'll just do it like a podcast. you know.
And I want to say, as the first Dirty Kenzo Productions affiliated production, not officially joined the Renegade, I guess.
No, you're like Shady Aftermath. You're like your own thing, just under the umbrella.
Affiliated, basically. Yeah. It's kind of hard to say I'm fully independent when I use the Wi-Fi you pay for, so it's kind of hard to fully say, "Fuck you, I'm doing my own thing."
Yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I'll pay the Wi-Fi, Brad.
and my phone.
Pay the Wi-Fi,
my phone, the food I put in my belly, so it's kind of hard.
Stack that, Jeff. But yeah, guys, I had a great time, great conversation with the boy. Junior. I ain't even gonna say the boy. I call him the boy when it's me and Kels, but he's a man. I gotta, young man. I gotta remember that. No respect, man. That was a great fucking pod. Thank you, everybody. As I said, music is available for lease and sale. t.murph@gmail.com. Going across the bottom of your screen. Hit me up. We can lease, sale. Lease is dirt cheap. Sale is dirt cheap. Just trying to, get my foot in the industry, so to speak. It's YouTube intro, background music. It's better than the shit that's available. But also, guys, need these watch hours. So if you could catch an old live, if I were to suggest some lives, Murph at 420. There was an episode around 25, 35 area. There was 5 episodes that are titled like Empathy, Self-Love. Watch those ones because some of them were amazing.
Yo, IP with the Joker profile. I better watch out. Batman was here earlier. You might want to be on the.
Hi, IP. Yeah, Batman was here.
Look out. He was here a minute ago, bro.
But yeah, salute to all the real ones. Everybody who dropped your chats. I hope everybody subbed up. Let's show the love. Please sub up to CHEESECURLPAPI again. And again, like I said, we'll try to get them here for another time. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And those who sub to CHEESECURLPAPI will be seeing his content as soon as he drops some. So with that being said, this is Murph at 420, the home of critical thinking and common fucking sense. As rare as that shit is anymore, I did it that way for Queen Kels because we changed it to bring in common sense and critical thinking and common fucking sense back to YouTube. But she's like, I missed it as rare as it is. Oh, so I was like, I got you. I got you, girl. I'll make all your dreams come true. But yeah, guys, appreciate you. Great pod as always. Murph at 420, Fridays, 4:20 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. We vibing out. As always, my theme song like a superhero or a wrestler. TDK, hometown hero. Salute. Yo, thank you for the contributions on Cashapp. That shit is dope. I got like 2 or 3 and appreciate y'all. Dope as shit. Hit that Patreon. I need them numbers up.
Hustling real hard. East Coast, West Coast to the Midwest. Down South. East Coast, West Coast to the Midwest.
Head over to Control members. Head to Control.
Down South. East Coast, West Coast to the Midwest. Down South.
Stay crispy, my friends. Peace.